Welcome to the Urban Crossfire Podcast. Today I'm with Zion, Jakari, and your boy Chingy Main. So,
Yes, sir.
you thirsty. So yeah, guys, we're back. Yeah. Hey, you guys been seeing about that World Cup stuff? Oh, I think we talked about it in the podcast where the people were basically exploiting the workers, where they basically, let's just say like, I think some workers from India, they were telling them like, hey, if you come, do some construction work over here in Qatar, we're gonna pay you a certain amount of money, and once they accepted, they fly down to Qatar, and they basically told them, give us all your visas, like your passports and shit. They brought them to this building. They gave them a whole different contract that was different than what they told them that they were gonna get, and they were getting basically paid $300 a month, and they were basically working 60 plus hours. Plus, if you miss one fucking day, they were basically working 7 days a week. If you miss one day, they will basically cut your pay for 4 months. I was like, bruh, I kind of want to boycott this World Cup, bro, because
They really wow.
we're
You know what's so crazy is like after the World Cup and after the Olympics, and you like look at these places after that happens, it's decrepit. It's so
yeah, even Brazil's, bro, they were
it's
basically
weird.
putting up walls
Yeah.
so like the tourists couldn't see like the shackles
Slums.
and the slums and shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, this guitar shit is, it was the people that, because they picked guitar I think in 2010 to host the 2022 World Cup, and it was already basically corruption because the people that basically picked guitar, some of them I think are in jail already and have already, because I think it was 2014 FIFA scandal where some people got were in jail and all. That was fucking crazy and shit. But yeah, bro, this shit is, and we're talking about this guitar, bro. This place is fucking,
Slavery is still it's very
like,
still a thing. It's still a thing.
we're talking about, bro, these, I think guitar, like, it's a fucking desert, bro. This shit gets like maybe 120 degrees,
Super
and these
cold at
guys have
night.
to fucking work in those type of conditions. That's why it was like kind of crazy to me, like, why the fuck would we pick guitar to host the World Cup?
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons why they're pushing it to December, because this summer is way too fucking hot to host that World Cup. So they're gonna push it to December. So I'm like, bruh, it's crazy, man.
I might as well just went to Alaska.
I'm like, bruh, there's so many different places that.
Or like New Zealand.
Ooh, New Zealand would have been a pretty nice place to host a World Cup.
That would have been nice.
Like South Africa, I like the South African World Cup. That was a pretty cool one. I think this American one is gonna be pretty cool, but guitar, bro.
and they do that.
When
shifty
they
shit.
announced that shit, I was like, bro, I think there's some corruption here, bro.
I can't wait till that movie come out.
Like, bro, just from one country, bro, 7,000 of those construction workers have already died, and more.
They died.
Yeah, and they were they were basically about 14,000 construction workers just from two countries. So they're not really giving the
So half
exact
of them have died.
amount. No, that's more. They're probably even more fucking. I mean, dude, you need a shit ton of construction workers. Like, imagine all those fucking stadiums that you got to build and shit. So these are just like some of the stats that they put out that are kind of swayed. Like, there's probably even more because they were only announcing, I think, two countries that these construction workers were from. That they were.
Dude,
So there's probably even more, bro. That's a shit ton of fucking people dying under those conditions. Working 60 plus hours a week. If you missed one fucking day, they will probably cut your pay for 4 months. And then I think this one reporter went over there interviewing the construction workers. They're like, have y'all been paid like this past month or some shit? They're like, no. And then they told the head supervisor, they were telling the head supervisor, because they can't leave. They took their passports. They literally just basically say they cannot fucking leave.
What
and
is
then
the government like in Qatar?
oh no, it's they still got the princes and like like bro, you will get fucking killed if you're fucking gay, I think, and if they catch you with a joint, you're probably gonna get into jail for 15 plus years. You can't even kiss in public over there. I think like I heard one of the laws like you can't even kiss in public.
Nigga, that's against the law.
Yeah. So bro, these are the same exact people that like I was like watching Fresh and Fit. Like these motherfuckers, these prince, like these rich people will literally pay chicks so that they can shit on them. Yeah. I'm like, bro, these people are crazy, bro.
Yeah, this is a little quick tip. Some of your favorite influencers be doing that shit. Like, oh, can you shit on me for a car? They'll take a car as payment. They can't take money back on the plane, so they'll take like actual assets as payment. Like, imagine that. That's some pretty privilege to a max right there. But I wouldn't. Don't misconstrue. I would not want to get shitted on for a car, bro. For anything. What the fuck? Shit? E. coli?
Bro, that shit is disgusting, bro. Like,
people are just. And there was another bitch that let a camel fuck her. For one of those shits. Dead ass.
That's disgusting.
That's what the
bro.
nigga said. He was like, "Yo, would you let my camel have sex with you?" He's like, "Yeah, you can do things with the camel for some bread, bro. Some cloth and some other shit."
They call themselves entrepreneurs. I'm like, bro.
Bruh. They like, yo, $8 OnlyFans. You getting pissed on? Like, yo, there was a girl that was on the No Jumper podcast. I was talking to Sharp.
Uh-huh.
And she was like, yeah, I've only ate 3 asses. No, 5. I'm like,
bro, Sharp be getting on these women, bro.
He was calling,
I think you was getting on Church.
Her, bro.
Remember that Church podcast?
Yeah.
Bro, this motherfucker's like, who the fuck gave you the name Church?
He's like, yeah.
You gotta be certified or some shit. Or that'd be funny as fuck, man.
Dude, he was going ham. And, yo, there was something that made me crack up so hard when I was watching this fucking interview because, dude, he was talking about how she eat ass, and then they went to a fucking Manscaped commercial. He's like, I'll be in the shower. I'm like, yo. I was dying, bro. I could not stop laughing. And then I was watching Taekwondo. Like, you don't know Taekwondo. He's like a nigga that talks about game and shit. And he was just like, hold on. Let's run that back. That nigga just, they just go from clowning her about her eating ass to a Manscaped commercial. Like, how did we get here? And Sharp is the one doing the Manscaped commercial. Like, bro, I got to show you this shit. I'll show you out there podcast. That shit was
Sharp, bro.
It was hilarious, bro.
Sharp Tank.
Yeah, he was going off on her. The funny thing is that he was going off on her because she didn't have respect for herself. He was mad at the fact that she didn't have respect for herself. Like, you eating ass and having sex with whoever the fuck you can. Like, you got hoes and shit. Like, what's wrong with you?
Right.
And I mean, there's nothing wrong with, like, sleeping with multiple people, but, like, making it, like, your whole lifestyle is, like, that's something that's a little weird. Like, even sleeping with multiple people is kind of sus. Like, I wouldn't want to do that.
Right.
I'm glad I had a little experience with that earlier, because I don't think I could do that in my 20s. I'm glad I'm in a relationship too, because like looking for love, it's decrepit out there, bro. It's dark.
New chicks might even kill you.
Facts. Or someone
put a prank on her. He's like, we need to break up.
Yeah, like that.
What?
That one TikToker that killed his girl and her friend. Bro, the whole story was this dude was obsessed with Tony Montana, right? Well, not obsessed, but he like acted like him on TikTok and shit. And one day, his girl, like, because he was abusing her, he was like talking shit to her. I don't know if he ever hit her or anything, but he would talk shit to her. And like she just got tired of it, so she kicked him out. Made a restraining order because this nigga like had a gun. He wouldn't let her friends talk to her. And then he went back in the house because he made a copy of the key, tore the whole house up, called her right afterwards, like told her what he did, and then he put like a camera in there or something to listen to like what was going on. And he heard from his phone like her walk in with a dude, and he heard a guy's voice. So he came back to the house, shot the guy in the head, and then shot her, and then picked up his daughter that he had with her and was like, yeah, I hurt your mom real bad. Called his mom, confessed, and then basically told the cops that he didn't do it, and he found him like that.
Mm.
And he was a whole ass nigga on TikTok, famous too. Like, people knew he was declining because this nigga would pull out whole bags of cocaine on live shit.
Mm. Yeah, you see a lot of videos of like dudes walking in on their wives and shit doing that.
Like,
But-
bro,
Like, bro, once it's like that, man, some of these guys handle it really well. They even tell the guys like, "Hey, man, yeah, you can keep her, bro. I'm walking out. I want that divorce. So see ya."
exactly.
I guess you gotta take it like a man. That just
Yeah,
Some guys are just
dude, betrayal gets dark though. It gets real dark, especially like when you see it front and center. Like, there's this TV show called Scenes from a Marriage,
Mhm.
where this guy, he's like really in love with his wife, but they like argue, and when she argues with him, she's not really even saying shit. Like, she kind of says stuff, but like it doesn't really make sense. So he has to like ask her to clarify over and over again, but she's still not making sense. And then one day she comes back from a trip, sits down. He's like, "Yeah, we want some of the spaghetti. I made it for our daughter." And basically, she tells him like, "Yeah, I've been cheating on you, and I'm leaving with this nigga to a whole nother country tomorrow. Like, I'm just coming back to pack my stuff." He's like, "What the fuck?" And then he basically wants to fix it with her, and they're just like arguing the whole time. And she leaves, and he calls like her friend because her friend knew, and it was been happening for like months, and she didn't say anything to him. Like, they had dinner together, and they sat down at the same table, and she said nothing to him. The whole time, this nigga was just looking like a fool. And when she came back like a year and a half later, she was getting on his top for wanting to go out and like move on. Like, she was getting mad at him, basically.
the fuck.
And I'm like, bitch, what? Like, how do you cheat on a man? And then he basically told her, he was like, yo, I even thought at one point that I was going to kill myself and her, the kid, to get back at you. Like, you don't know, like, what you did to me. Like, my mental state was, because she tried to get at him. She, like, basically, like, tried to come on to him. He's like, nah, I'm not doing that shit with you. I'm not going back down that rabbit hole. Fuck that. Go back to your mans. And, yeah. And even another movie with Ben Affleck that just came out called Deepwater. It's basically this girl who cheats in front of her husband. Like, she basically, with him,
I think I've seen the trailer for that.
it's, bro, it was, a lot of people didn't like it, but I liked it because Ben Affleck is like one of my favorite actors, bro.
And it was saying something like you can't leave me or something like that. That's what she was saying. Like you like the excitement or something like that. Some shit like
No,
that.
she was basically saying, like, if you were with any other girl, you'd probably be so bored you'd kill
Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah.
She basically said that to him. He was like, yo, why are you doing this to me? Because what he would do is, because in the opening scene, she's bringing this guy in because they're having a party. And this guy, I guess she's sleeping with, he starts talking to Ben Affleck, and he's like, yo, I really appreciate your guys' hospitality, especially, like, your wife. And Ben just looks at him, and he's like, what do you mean? And then he's just like, yeah, your wife it's always good to have a friend, basically. And then he goes behind the drink preparing table, and he just, like, pours a drink. He's like, you know who else got close to my wife? And then he names some dude that's missing. And he's like, yeah, I killed him. He tells this dude, I killed him. And then that guy goes out and he tells everybody. And then everyone just start coming up to him. And he's, like, such a loving guy and, like, charming. So everyone, like, thought it was a joke. So he passes it off as a joke. And then the guy comes over for dinner. And Ben Affleck opens the door. And he's like, yo, is such and such here? Which is his wife. And he's like, no, it's only me and you. Why is that weird? And then there's this awkward silence. He's just staring at him. And he's like, no, she's in the kitchen. We're just fucking with you. Comes in. And then he doesn't kill this dude, but he kills the next guy that she slept with. Like, drowns him in the fucking pool at the party that they're all at. Like, bro, Ben was...
fuck?
He was not... He loved her so much. He was like, yo, I don't want this to end. Like, I'm going to fight for you, basically. Because, like, she finds out, like, from... Because she knows what she's doing. She knows he knows what she's doing. So when that guy ends up dead in the pool, she instantly is just, like, telling the cops, like, he killed him. He killed him. And then they're sitting alone, And he's like, "Are you mad at me?" And she's like, "No." And then she's like, she basically says,
So this is like a fetish to the fucking girl. Like,
"No, she wants him to break up with her because he wanted a family, she didn't, type thing." And she wants him to get like mad and shit and like rage, but he doesn't. He's like calm the whole fucking movie. It draws parallels to the other movie he did, which is The Accountant. And yo, if there's a movie that you want to watch,
That account is actually not fire.
bro, that movie is fire as fuck. Like, I've never wanted to own an RV and put all my valuables in it.
I never wanted,
Bro.
bro. When I tell you, I picked up a belt and tried to beat somebody.
Bro.
Like they got a knife on you, bro.
Yo, dude, when he took that shit out,
Bro, like you're fighting a whole man with like a fat ass knife. Like the dude had like a machete or something like that.
yeah,
I
I mean,
think It was
and-
something, and he just had the belt. And he was just like wraps it around his hand, and then just like around both hands. He just like tightens it. He was like, "All right, yeah, I'm straight with this."
and then he just, wait, was that when he like fought the dude in front of the car?
Yeah, it was like they were in like some grass area or something like that. Yeah,
You heard what he said to him. He was just like, he told him who he was working for, and then he just broke this nigga's neck with the fucking belt. He just like had him down, and he was like choking him. He's like, "Who do you work for?"
Because it was like something like were they like Russian or something like that? Like him, it was like him and his brother, and they were like raised as like mercenary, like what are those, hitmen or something like that?
So like the whole story was his dad was a military officer, and they worked on he worked on a compound or like a Navy base, no, a military base, and they had moved around to like 34 different houses throughout the entire time he was a kid. He had Asperger's syndrome, so, or I think autism, one or the other. So he was like hella tappy, and he would like have to finish things. Like if he started something, he has to finish it, and if he doesn't finish it, he just starts raving. And he is sensitive to sound and touch. So his dad trains him in the arts of like martial arts and stuff, and teaches him all types of stuff. And he tells him, he's like,
It was like him and his brother. Or something.
yeah, him and his brother. And his mom walks out on them, and that's when he starts doing that to them. And like he raises them up to be like super good at everything, basically.
It was like, and there was like a scene where like they were still like little kids, and like both of them were beating up like this grown ass man with like a gun, and they were just throwing hands with him.
Yeah, it
And
was
they
like,
beat his ass, and like I think they killed him or something like that.
what is it called? The Accountant?
And then they got
the
back in
accountant.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to watch this. Shit
Dude,
looks fun.
he's
bro.
an accountant for like mobsters. Like he
like,
does their books. He does books for
He
crime.
was out there. He was like doing all like the math on like the whiteboard, and then they were like trying to. He was also working for like some big company too. And
Yeah.
and he was like trying to solve like their financial problem.
Like where the money went.
Yeah, he figured it out, and then right when he figured that out, he was like, "All right, now let me go kill these dudes real quick."
No, because like what they did was
The
they
fuck?
told him that they didn't need him, and they erased his work. And he comes in, he's like, "Yo, what the fuck are you doing? I'm not finished." So he starts freaking out,
Yeah.
and then he goes back home, and he turns up, because what he'll do is he'll go to his house and he'll turn up the radio like hella high, so he'll get used to the noise, and then he'll put on a flashing light, so he'll get used to like the flashing lights, and he'll take like this Kenbo stick and like rub his leg over and over again. So he's like training himself to be desensitized to all the things he has anxiety towards. And the whole time he's like an accountant for mob bosses, and he runs his own accounting firm, and he cycles and washes money throughout the plaza. So this FBI agent basically hires this other FBI agent to find out who he is, so they can like shut down all these operations. And when he starts working for this company, because they hire him, come to find out, the CEO is killing his like friends because he doesn't want like what is going on to like tumble the stock, because he wants to be able to help people, because he makes robotic arm parts and leg parts for people. And then, dude, the scene at the very beginning is Ben Affleck. He's just walking with a hood on, and there's these two guys standing outside this bar. They just run up to like touch him, and he just in like 4 seconds,
Fool's ball.
4 seconds, just cuts this nigga's throat. Walks up to the other dude, cuts his throat, walks in, kills 9 people with one gun. Headshots, every single one of them.
Man's
Last
built
dude,
Ben
different.
Affleck. What
he
the
killed
fuck?
him
Man's
with
built
one
different.
kick.
I only thought about this guy from Batman, bro. I didn't know he was making those
Bruh,
type
I'm
of good ass
pretty sure
movies, bro.
That movie is why he got the Batman role.
Mm.
Because if you watch that movie, there's a scene where he's like using the sniper, and he's outside
like-
this guy's.
It's like the end of the movie where like it was like him versus his brother or something like that.
yeah.
And this is
His
the
bro-
dude that
his
owns the
brother was
RV.
punching him, right? And his brother was like, he was like, fight back. And as soon as Ben Affleck fights back, this nigga just tears him down. The whole time he was letting him punch him in the face.
Yeah.
And then when he goes to like hit him again after he's telling him to fight back, he just does some shit, puts his nigga on the ground, puts a gun to his head, and he's like, and he just sits down.
And then they
Wait, he kills him or?
No,
No,
he
oh,
doesn't
the
kill him.
movie ends with them like I guess like making up and they're just
Yeah,
like
and he's
laughing
like,
or some shit laying
bro,
on the floor.
this is after this nigga killed the whole.
Bro,
there's
mob
like,
family and shit
bro,
like that.
So this man is like John Wick,
Yeah,
but
because it was like, because it was like he was working for one client, but his brother was working for the other client. They both
Ooh.
ended up killing each other's clients, and now they're just fighting each other. And then they're just like,
Bro,
there's no point now.
he killed this man's whole squad. And like there was a scene where his brother's standing and he's like,
Dude,
yo,
it was the whole squad, and like his brother. So it was like, damn, there's like one really good dude on their team, and then all these dudes are just like fodder to me.
yeah.
He kills all of them. Then it's like him versus his brother, and they're like trying to snipe each other. They run out of ammo, so they just start charging each other.
No,
Some shit like that.
so this is the RV,
think-
same person that owns the RV, I guess.
yeah.
The RV. Oh, okay.
And he takes like art pieces as
Because he liked like this one girl too. Like, well, this one girl like
he like saved her life
Yeah.
because like they had set her up to die basically, and he found out, so he was running up the stairs. There's these two niggas just. Let's just say this nigga was ass. He was just wiping ass the whole fucking movie, bro. The whole movie. Nobody
So-
could touch him.
Like that was by far like one of my favorite movies. I
This
was
man
like,
got to be on that next John Wick 5 or some shit. Where
Bro, I wouldn't be surprised if this movie influenced John Wick, because like it's just this modest dude. He likes numbers. He likes solving puzzles.
And like the whole movie, he's mad calm too. Like he barely spoke, and that's what made the movie even better too, because he barely had to say anything. It was more of his actions that spoke, and he was just like he would just look at them because he has like his like disability. And he's just like, all right, bro, run them fades. I ain't gonna talk, bro. Run them fades. I know everything
bro.
about you.
Run
Because
them
the
fades.
people he was helping, he was like using their property to like practice his gun work. So he would shoot a sniper from like a mile away, and he would hit melons. He would just blow them shits up with sniper bullets. And then one day, like these niggas come, and they hold that family hostage, and they tell him like, where is he at, basically. And they're like, oh, he's out on the field. He's like, you're gonna come with me, and you're gonna get him. So they go out. She opens the door and starts calling his name. And there's a pan shot where he's like sitting on the bed of his truck. And his eyes are closed. And then when it moves over, he's gone. And the dude standing there holding the gun to the lady's head. Bro, Ben just like puts. I don't know what he put in that gun, but he blew that nigga up. And then he flew against the wall, and the other dude just starts ducking. He's like, yo, what the fuck? And he's like, all of us are getting out of here. They start driving the truck, and Ben just starts running after the truck. He gets on the truck, breaks the window with his knee, pulls this nigga out, and then they fumble out the truck, and that's when he starts fighting him with a goddamn belt. Nigga pulls out a knife, and he just takes everything from this nigga. Puts him, and then he stands over and he like puts one leg over his shoulder and just cracks this man's neck. And then the family is in the truck. They just witness all of this shit, and he just waves to him and walks away.
Yes,
Like, bro, he's like,
yes.
nigga was just like,
he didn't do nothing.
he was just like,
he was like,
he just walked away.
head nod,
And he,
typical.
this nigga, he has his own fucking like Alfred too. That's the craziest part. Is like the lady that is over that also has a syndrome, so she can't talk in real life, so she has to use a computer. So she's helping him with this whole
Oh,
thing.
yeah, I remember
But, like,
that.
what,
She's
it's like a
always sending
robotic voice
messages
or
on the
some
voice-
shit?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
on the phone, yeah.
Yeah.
He always
So he
texts
doesn't have
him
like
back.
earpiece. He
No,
just
he
has
just has
like
a
his phone
regular
and
ass
just.
cell
Yeah,
phone.
no, she like sends him messages and shit.
And she calls him, and she's like, "I'm worried about you." He's like, "Why are you doing all this for a girl?" He's like,
Because he always speaks to her, but she doesn't speak back. Something like that, right?
"No, she talks to him. She like sets everything up for him." Because it was like
Do they ever see each other or?
he knows her from when he was a kid. Like if you
Oh,
watch
okay.
the movie, you'll get it.
Yeah.
But like
Yeah. When they were there, yeah, I remember.
when he couldn't find the puzzle piece, and this nigga was like,
Yeah, he was freaking out.
and then they showed a puzzle, and he was literally solving a white sheet. He was solving a white sheet. So like, imagine doing a regular ass puzzle. That's hard enough. He's doing it all the same color, and he does this shit in like 30 seconds. And he can't find the last piece, so he starts freaking out. And then they show under the table, and it's Muhammad Ali, but he did the shit from the backside. I'm like, and like when his dad first said, he was like, "Yo, I don't think for him to lead a normal life, he needs less of all those things. He needs more of it." I was just like, I don't know if that's gonna work. You might see you as enemy of his world. He becomes the enemy. This nigga, he becomes a menace, bro.
Like,
Bro, they
X-Men
should
is
put like this guy with 007 with John Wick and this
Um,
dude, and
see,
just put like a,
That's the thing that I thought it was gonna be.
like DC versus Marvel. Just have
I
like
liked it a
these
lot
guys.
better that he wasn't under some association. He was like literally doing all this shit by himself. Like that's actually what like Green Berets do. Like they go into countries and like reestablish whole governance, and like they marry like a bunch of women, and like
Really?
they solve the financial problems. Like that's literally what they go in to do. Special forces is our elite, bro.
literally that movie. I always think about that shit like every at least every 3 days. I just be like, I'd be looking at a belt, just like I'd beat somebody over with this belt.
Bruh, dude, that movie had me like.
Tighten it, just wrap it around your hands.
That made me want to reorganize my whole life. I'm just like,
Facts.
dude, this man has a whole ass syndrome, and he's out here. He's like, yo, I don't give a fuck about what's challenging me. I'm not only gonna make the best of it, but there's nobody that can fucking touch me.
He's like solving the thing. Unlike the thing, they just like erase his work, and some man got.
He walks in, he's like, what the fuck are you doing? And then they're like, we don't know. He just
Because
doing it.
Yeah, the girl that he saved also worked with him at that accounting firm.
Yeah, and they try to get her killed because she like found the problem. She found the problem and reported it, and then they hired him to figure out what the fuck it was, and he figured it out. Cause yo, he said the coldest shit. Like the dude, he was like the CFO of the company,
Mhm.
and he was talking to him, and he was like, "So how long has this problem been going on?" He's like, "Yo, it's been happening." No, he was basically saying that there was no problem. He's like, "Yo, I'm over this shit. There's no way I wouldn't steal money from my friend." He's like, how long you been the CFO? He's like, 13 years. He's like, I'm gonna need the records for the past 13 years. And he's like, who the fuck do you think you are? I'm like, yo, he said that shit calm as fuck too. He's like, yeah, nigga, I don't discuss client business. Just go ahead and run me them papers.
But,
Remain them
and then like,
numbers.
they like sending, and then, like she's like bringing him the paperwork and bringing him like boxes of paperwork, and he just like she always tries to talk to him, but he doesn't like know how to respond back, I guess, or something like
So
that.
she was
That
like,
was awkward.
I can answer any questions you have. He's like, I don't have any questions. He's like, do you want a donut? I don't need a donut.
You
Just
are
going the
donut.
whole time like, and the reason why he is like that, like you find out in the movie, is because he's using aliases the whole time. So you can't ask him shit, and he can like give you stuff because he's basically a nomad. He's like if you ever play Ghost Recon, Nomad is like the main character, and like depending on how you play with him, he could either be a badass or he could be a noob. But like, dude, there's nothing like clearing out a whole compound with your team, and it's nothing but headshots, and like there's niggas looking around the compound for you because they found a dead body, and you just come up behind him and just slip off of the back, and stab him in the neck, and you're just like, I did this.
Wasn't there also like they were saying something about like an apple a day keeps the doctor away or some shit like that in that movie, like while he was driving away? It was something, I don't know. I'm probably thinking of something else. I just remember something like that at the end of the movie when he's driving away with his little trailer, his truck and
Yeah,
trailer.
bro. I think the coldest part is when his brother was like, yo, how am I going to find you? He's like, I'll find you. And he just walks away. Like, bro, this man, I think he got shot. And his brother's like trying to beat him up. He like slammed him against the wall. And the whole time he's saying, I'm sorry. Sorry, Braxton. I'm sorry, Braxton. So he didn't mean for it. They're like, we like kind of spoiling the whole movie, but this is like their dad dies, right? Because they went to the mom's funeral and he gets shot. And then the brother gets super pissed about that, and he hasn't seen his brother like since that happened. So he was super mad at him. But dude, there was a scene where they're all standing around because they hear like gunshots go off, and this man just starts firing sniper rounds through the house. And the brother's standing behind a wall, and he's like, yo, you ever seen a sniper bullet? Has anyone ever seen a sniper bullet go through a window at supersonic speed? And then it goes through and kills one of the men, and the nigga's just like, no one ever does. He just starts running. He's like, yo, what the fuck? Because like, bruh, because he stopped. He walked up to two of the snipers, took them out. He shot one of these dudes so hard in the forehead, it looked like cracked glass across this nigga's forehead, bro. It was crazy. And he tied this other dude up, and he was pointing the sniper at the house, and he was like, tell me about all the covers and entrances and exits. And he was like, after he said that, he just points a gun at him and says, go. And then he starts shooting in the house. And I'm like, he gets up on the roof, and they're like, he's on the roof. He's like, yo. And they do comms, and they're like, yo, I want to hear target eliminated. And he starts fighting this other nigga, and they fall down from the balcony, and they start fighting. Bro, you have to see that scene, bro.
Damn,
You
it's
have to
crazy. I've
you
never
have to
seen
watch
it,
this
bro.
movie. It's great.
That movie was amazing.
I think when I get home, I'm gonna watch that. John Wick.
Thanks.
I'm gonna watch that. I'm gonna watch.
I still
John
gotta see the
Wick.
latest John Wick movie, bro.
I saw it. It was pretty
It's
nice.
pretty good.
But I really wish John Wick was only number 1. To be honest with you, because that would have been nice. But like they were riding Keanu Reeves' dick pretty hard. They were like, "We need another movie. We need it."
Bro.
Like I couldn't imagine The Accountant too. I don't know like what that story would be like. I'm so glad there's only.
Who do you
one.
think would win?
No, his brother basically
Keanu Reeves or
The Accountant.
the accountant? Really?
I honestly, bro, I genuinely believe he could. Because he was so much more adaptable.
You ever
I mean-
seen Jason Bourne?
Actually,
I think
Yeah.
that's like a bust movie, but like
I
they
mean,
try to
Jason
make
Bourne-
that shit
Jason
good
Bourne,
though.
Jason Bourne was pretty decent.
I've
in
never
my
seen
opinion.
it, but like,
Like I saw this one scene. Like the whole reason that made me watch it was I saw this one clip. Mans was in like the like those Russian boxing rings where they just use straight hands. He just like walks straight up to this dude, folds him one hit, and I'm just like, damn.
yeah, it's only 3 pounds of pressure, bro.
Cause he does like the little swole walk. Cause like other dudes like think he's like big, hot. Cause dude was bigger than him, and so he just like clenches his fist, walks up to him, like mad, like tough, and then just, and I'm just like, one hit.
Bro.
I'm watching this movie. Nah,
Dude, have you ever seen Mission Impossible with Henry Cavill in it?
I have not,
Bro.
Actually, I haven't.
There's a scene in that movie where the nigga they're like literally getting their ass whooped by this one dude inside of a bathroom. He kicks him into the sink, and then Henry Cavill does something with his arms, and I'm like, he like fluffs out both of his arms and walks up to this nigga and just starts beating his ass. I'm like, they end up killing the dude, but still,
bruh.
That movie was fire. Cause that's low-key how like the movie that I was talking about earlier, The Take. It's kind of how that was. Idris Elba. He was kind of similar. Man just wouldn't die. Like no matter what situation he was in, he was just like,
that's him in every movie.
yeah,
bro.
he was just using this deep ass voice. Target eliminated. And I'm just like,
Dog eliminated.
target eliminated. And I'm just like, nigga, die. And they're like shooting at him, dude. Cause there was a scene where he like had on like the other like the terrorist like gear, acting like he was one of the officers. He's just walking up, mad casual, and then just like pulls out the little police baton, beats one dude, puts it to his neck, breaks his neck, and then grabs the taser and tases the other dude, and then just smacks him in his face, and then takes his gun, walks in, and he takes like the key card so he can get into like the vault at the very bottom of the bank. He like walks in, sees all the dudes there, and he's just like, he looks at the key card, he's like, I can make it. And then man tries to casually just walk straight to the door, and they're like, hey, who are you? And he's like, oh, fuck.
Like, I didn't want to do it to
Oh,
you.
God.
I didn't want to do it.
he just folds him in.
Oh fuck.
He just like, and he was like, all right, you're down. So then they
Bro.
just shoot at him. He gets down, headshot. Oh shit, rolls over, headshot. And then like there was
That's
time,
when he got aim assist on 100.
yeah. Then they shoot the little key card reader, and there's like a second door that he's trying to get to now because he's like, oh damn, they shot that one. Now I got to get to that second one. But it's like closer to them. They're like guarding that one.
Yeah.
And he's like basically like getting trapped. He was trapped behind like the fountain, and they were like coming at him like at both angles. The pickpocketer dude like heard that like he was like trapped and he was stuck because the dude had on like comms and he heard like what was going on. So he basically like the girl just convinced him to like use the crowd that was rebelling against. They were having like a protest, and they ended up just like pushing against the barricade, police barricade, and then just breaking into the thing. And like the dude who was coming around with the shotgun, he gets like bombarded by the people, and the other dude who had the AK, he peeks that corner, headshot, and then dude just like runs straight to the keycard thing, scans it, and just walks in. And then they look at each other, pickpocketer and Idris. They look at each other, and he's just like, nice, and he just goes in.
Like, how the fuck do you train for that
Oh,
shit,
God.
bro?
And then, bro, when he gets down there, he's just doing the little tactical with his gun around the corners, and then he sees the dude who's like, put your hands up, and then there's like a second guy with him. He starts shooting. He gets behind. He starts like shooting back. Runs out of ammo. Pulls out the fucking pistol. Mans was literally more accurate with a pistol than the whole fucking AK. I
Bro,
get it,
honestly,
but like come on now,
that's the thing.
headshots.
when they were explaining it, there was like some special ops people. There's like this channel called Gameology, and they look at video games, and it's like special ops people reviewing military games. And he was basically saying like when you pick up a gun, a lot of those guns can be adjusted to like the person. So you can't just like pick up a gun and shoot it the same way you'll shoot a gun that's like specifically fitted for you.
They did do that in the movie because he had the stock. He shortened the stock.
Yeah.
So because it looked like a little Uzi, and he like shortened the stock, put up to his arm, and that's why he was just peeking them corners.
Yeah, bro.
And it was kind of clean because he was fighting both of them at the same time, and locks the other dude inside of like this little other vault little area. But it's like it was just like a secure door, so he had like another way he could get out.
Yeah.
But he's basically watching as Idris is like fucking up his like homeboy, and so he basically gets on him.
no!
Yeah, he was getting heated. He gets on him, and then like Idris like unclips one of his grenades, like that are like on his vest, on the dude's vest, and basically like knocks him, put him on the floor, lays on him, blows up right on the floor.
Yo,
and dude
Ben Affleck did that in the
movie.
Yeah, he did that in the Accountant too.
Bro, and man's got heat. He was like, no, and started shooting the glass with bulletproof glass, and he's just like, and then he walks away. He walks towards like the front of the thing because he has they were like basically stealing like $500 million from the bank.
Wow.
And he has like a whole drive in his pocket, and so he goes on comms. He's like, dude has the drive. I need you to get it from him. It's in his left chest pocket. So dude just like puts on the pickpocketer puts on the mask, like, and he's just trying to get through the crowd because he also gets heated because he sees that it just killed like all his men in the lobby where the protesters were too. But he's just like, bro, fuck it, I'm gonna just get out this bitch. He starts like trying to walk out and gets like hit on the chest. There was a pickpocket.
It's gone.
Shit was gone. And then he's just like, he pauses, starts feeling his chest, and it feels like that shit is gone. So he just pulls out, like, he just like starts trying to like ripping off like people's masks looking for him. He finds like the girl, and he basically takes the girl and just like, show yourself, and pulls out his gun and starts like shooting in the air. Everybody gets down. He's like, show yourself. He stands up, and then like, it was like this whole thing. The police officers, you know, they still think that he's like the terrorist, so they're pointing their guns at him. But the other guy that hired him was like the special agents like officer, like he was the leader or whatever, and he was basically trying to do like a covert thing where he was part of a police officer, but he was also trying to steal from the bank.
Yeah,
like deception type shit. And so he basically tells like the police officers just like kill the dude, cause and then like right when he was about to shoot the bomb, like the pickpocketer, Idris just comes out and then just tackles him, and then Idris gets shot in the arm. Man, just like, then they just light him up, and I'm just like, oh damn. They just light that man up, like headshots, body shots. The man was fucked up, and I was just like,
try this one?
That's tough. That shit was crazy. Idris was going hard that whole movie. Literally, they had set him up to where they found like, he found the girl and he found like the pickpocketer, and he was supposed to like bring them in. He was like asking for like a safe rendezvous to get picked up. Since it was like corrupt, shit was actually fucked up too. The girl that trusted him and like gave him a mission, like trusted that like his decision, let him just be a vigilante like officer.
Can you come up to the?
Yeah. And he basically just like she gets the dude to rendezvous. This is when you find out like the guy is bad. She tells him about that they found out everything, and that they've been like sneaking around like in France, you know, against like the dude's like wishes or whatever, and find out like all this information. He's like, oh shit, found all that out. All right, I got you. The secret word is Omega Alpha or some shit like that.
Oh,
and
wow.
then he's like, she calls him, tells him that, and she's just like, all right, thank you. And he just pulls out the Glock, shoots her in the head, and then just double taps on the body. I'm just like, damn. So he clipped her like real quick, and they were like good friends who knew each other for 10 years.
Yep, exactly.
That shit was fucked up.
I'm telling you, bro.
That shit hit me in the feels, bro.
That's why you gotta read Laws of Human Nature. He literally says that in the beginning of the book. He's like, yo, you can meet niggas and they will literally be the best of friends to you, but as soon as they can use you as a staircase, it's over.
Yeah. So literally, he like, they get the van comes to pick them up. The girl recognizes one of the guys because that was one of the guys that was sent to kill her, at the beginning of the movie, and she went through the back door, and so she recognizes one of them, and she does the freaking out eyes. Idris, he peeps it. The pickpocketer, he somewhat peeps it, and then they start slowing down. Dude start reaching for his gun. Idris just yeah. It's like, oh damn, and then they just they all just they all already ready to box because they already knew what was going on, and man's just they're fighting the whole time, and right when the van crashes, the back door opens. Dude's pulling out a gun. Idris just reaches for the gun. Headshot. Niggas, fuck that, bro. Y'all ain't
can't take a break.
Y'all ain't killing me, bro. Y'all ain't killing me. Because dude opened the back, headshotted him. That gave the other guy time to grab for a gun. And he just quickly headshots him too. He was like, "Y'all good?" And then they just take the van. Then they call their CIA agent dude. Tells him that if she hasn't responded, then she's dead and all that type of stuff. So he basically figures that out. And then that's when they just head straight to the bank because he was like, "I'm gonna handle this shit on my own." And he literally 1v12s all of them. Kills all of them, bro. That shit kind of made me mad, but it was also cool at the same time.
Yeah, bro. But even have you seen Jack Reacher?
No, I actually haven't. I've been meaning to watch it.
Bro,
all these good ass movies, bro.
Too. No, it's a TV show. I mean, it's Amazon Prime, but it is based off a movie with Tom Cruise. Yeah.
These movies be going hard, bro. That
I gotta see that counting though.
Yeah, that counting goes hard.
That shit looks.
I gotta show you that scene when he fought his brother because he didn't annihilate him, but the way it was so precise. His brother was hitting him. He was telling him to fight back.
Because he was just taking them hits, and then he would just look at him every single time.
He blocked the shit, counteracted it, made this nigga get on the ground, put his knee on his chest, and then pulled the gun and pointed at his face. And then he just sat down.
No, they said they had a word for when one of them was beat, and he said the word, and told him to surrender or something like that. Yeah. And they were just cruise up some shit like that. It was one of the words, and they just sat there because they both were tired as fuck.
He told him I missed you, bro, and he didn't say it back. And he's like, I miss you too, Braxton. He's speaking for him basically. It was just
because that's how they spoke because he speaks for him. Look, that shit was clean.
Because one time his dad told him to go fight a whole crowd. It was a bunch of other kids that were bigger than him. And he walked out and he started beating them up. And then he tells his brother, he looks in the rearview mirror and he says, "Go." And his brother just gets out and starts running after this one kid. And I'm like, dude, these niggas are on go. And then and then he told his brother, he's like, the reason I haven't gotten back to you because I work for dangerous people. And his brother was just like, well, kind of dangerous myself. What the fuck? Because when he was following his brother killed somebody. And then,
because it was
he got out the car and started tailing him.
Yeah, because wasn't it a night scene where he started shooting at him and he hit behind up.
Yeah, bro. He sensed him and turned around with a silencer and put 2 bullets through 2 windows, and then just kept walking.
Yeah, and because it was a public street, people were there and they were just
they were by themselves. It was just that
I could have swore because it
was at night.
They both had silenced guns and they were just. Ding, ding, and he just kept walking.
He thought she was the one that was responsible for it, so he was going there to kill her. But his brother had already killed her because the CEO was the one that was actually over it. So he before he could get to the house, he saw someone come out, and he was just like, "Yo, what?" Because he kind of I guess he kind of recognized him, or he was just trying to keep a low profile. So he started walking, and he started tailing that dude, and the dude just basically turns around. You don't know that's his brother at the time, and he just shoots twice into the car.
And he hides behind the car, and then they're just casually ding ding ding.
It's like that. It's like that John Wick scene where they're at the train station and John Wick's at the top and the dude's at the bottom and they're shooting at each other.
And doesn't this nigga just pull Batman in that scene too? He just disappears in the crowd and they both do it. Yeah. And he disappears in the crowd and then John Wick's just oh, you think you nice, bro?
He kills him on the train, I think.
Yeah, cause it was the other guys move and John Wick was I can do that shit too. And John Wick just disappears too. He was and then comes up behind him.
I saw him kill a nigga with a pencil.
Oh God, he didn't do that,
bro. That nigga was the One Punch Man of multi-hand combat.
It's gonna be I gotta watch that one. new John Wick movie. I might have to see Baby Driver again, bro.
I look at want to watch.
Low
I didn't watch
key.
it.
You never watched Baby Driver?
What?
Yeah,
Oh,
you should watch it with headphones.
I wanted to watch it when
they
it
do some
first
audio
came
tracks.
out, but I didn't have the funds, and then I don't know. I just kind of low-key forgot about it.
Yeah, that's a good movie.
Yeah, I heard it was a
Baby
good movie,
Driver's good, bro.
and I saw that yeah, it was like all that stuff about like the deaf English. Like if you when he took out one headphone, it would like
Yeah.
do something with like the speakers as well. in the
Yeah.
movie.
They'll like only play it in one side.
Yeah, that was clean.
Yeah,
I saw clips on it.
I want to talk about this scene from Hannibal. I was watching Hannibal last night because I was like, yo, I feel like I should go back and watch this movie.
Mm-hmm.
On a TV show, and I totally forgot about how crazy it was. And there was a scene where there's this kid who like feeds people to pigs, and he's like kind of crazy, and he almost kills Hannibal, but Hannibal escapes from the thing, kills his like hitman and shit, and he takes Hannibal back to this other nigga's house, puts a psychedelic drug inside this vial and makes him like inhale it, and he's like, yo, I need you to write me a prescription. He's like going ape shit. And it's like a suggestive drug. It's like angel dust. So Hannibal starts telling him, he's like, because the guy tells him about, because he works in a slaughterhouse. His dad, like, is a slaughterhouse empire. And his dad used to walk around Pig Fest and, like, test the thickness of pig skin. Or, like, yeah, the thickness of their skin and, like, stab them in the back and shit. And Hannibal looks down at him. He's like, I want you to show me the thickness of the skin. And he's like, okay, I can show you. And he like sees, he's like hallucinating. He sees a pig in front of him. He's like, no, on you. And this nigga basically starts cutting off his own face and feeding it to the dogs. And then when the guy who owns the house comes and he's talking to Hannibal, he's like, yo, he walks up to the guy who's sitting in the chair and he's like, yo, what are you feeding my dogs? He's like, me. And he's like laughing and shit. And then Hannibal's just having a conversation with him. And then Hannibal's basically trying to convince him to kill him because he knows that guy's trying to convince Hannibal to kill him. So he literally like breaks his neck, but he doesn't kill him. And the guy just basically, so he doesn't tell on himself, he doesn't tell on Hannibal. And his whole face is like gone. He made him eat his own nose and shit. It was crazy, bro. If you watch that show, Hannibal Lecter, bro, is the coldest nigga. And I mean, even before that show came out, I watched what's the name of the movie? Silence of the Lambs. There's a scene with the actual Hannibal Lecter where they're sitting at this table and Hannibal walks into this dude and like he did something to him and he starts dissecting his brain while he has like a conversation. The dude's still alive. He's like dissecting his brain while he's having a conversation with the other lady at the table. You know, like eats it.
fuck.
Like, bro.
Is that like a show still going on or some shit? Or?
It only had 3 seasons, but the last episode of the second season is the craziest.
I remember when I watched, because I watched it with Grace. There was like this one movie. I don't know have you watched it? It's called Nobody.
Mr. Nobody?
It's just called like Nobody.
Maybe.
It's like, because every time they ask him in the movie, like, who are you? He's just like, I'm nobody. And it's like, it's kind of like he's like retelling, but it's also not at the same time.
Where it's a story, it's like multiple timelines.
No, it's like he's basically telling the police officers like what happened, like why he's so like beat up and stuff like that. And apparently he's like some special agent. Like he was the guy that you would send if you wanted to get like something done. Like if you wanted
Oh
to get people
yeah,
killed.
with the older dude.
Yeah, with that old man.
Yeah.
And like he's just
I
like
watched that movie.
yeah, because these he's just like chilling. He was like mad because like these people broke into his house.
Yeah.
And then like
he was gonna kill him, but he didn't.
Yeah, because he had like a golf club and he didn't hit them, and like everybody was getting mad because like he didn't like hit them. He just let them.
They were
go.
being passive aggressive about it. They're like, "Yo, if they broke in my house, I would have."
I would have knocked them out. I would have
Yeah.
shot him or some shit like that. And like you find out that he didn't hit them because he saw inside like the revolver. It was unloaded. There were no bullets in them, so they were basically just like empty threading. And he the dumbest thing, he unicorn bracelet. He goes to their house.
Oh yeah,
he tracks them down. Goes to their
just
house.
because they stole
Where
his
is
daughter.
it?
Just because they stole his daughter's unicorn bracelet, he goes on a
Where
fucking
is it?
spree, bro.
And dude, then like he was about to like kill him or something like that. Like he's just like asking for. He like hit the other dude with like the butt of the gun, and then like finds out like realizes like what he did. They had like a kid and all that type of stuff, and so he just like dips, and because he feels bad, and he like goes and like sits on the bus, these like dudes, like these Russian dudes, like pull up and they like crash their car.
And they're being
And so
like
they-
hella rude to the bus driver.
Yeah, they just get on the bus and it's like take us somewhere, blah blah blah, being hella rude, being hella disrespectful to like the people, and they start like flirting, like trying to flirt with this like one chick, like they're like being like too like aggressively flirting, and he basically just like, hey, why don't you guys just like step off the bus real quick? And they're just like, who's this old man? Teach him a lesson. He's just like, leave. Then he gets like beat up a couple times, but he's just like, oh, I like this. And it's still at the point of the
He was
movie.
eating them shit,
Yeah,
bro.
it was at the beginning of the movie where you still don't know like what the fuck is going on. Like you're just like, why does this old ass man got hands right now? Like why? And so he ends up like I think he kills like two of them, or he just like beats them all up like really bad. He stabs one in the eye or something like that, and like he gets stabbed in like the leg, pulls it out. Mink, 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 stabs the other dude back in his leg, and then just like I think he stabs him, puts it in his neck, and I think he stabs him with like a piece of glass too. Stabs another dude with glass,
And he just gets off the bus.
yeah. And then like he like knocks out one of the other dudes too, and like breaks his arm and shit like that. And then yeah, he just walks off the bus, and like no, he gets thrown out the window, fixes his shit. He's just like, all right, open up. He gets back inside the fucking bus. He's like, all right, I'm ready for round 2. What's up? And then that's when he goes even harder, bro.
Yeah.
And then the whole thing, he gets off the bus. Yeah, he goes back home and acts like nothing happened. His wife is just like treating his wounds, and he's just like, she's like putting like super glue on his like.
I think he said he
fucking-
like fell off or something.
Yeah, she like puts like super glue on his like cuts and shit like that to like close him or some shit. I don't know. Shit was weird to me, and he's just like chilling, and like his son was like, "The fuck happened to you?" And he was just like, "Tough day." And I was just like, "Nigga, what?"
No, because that's really how it is. Like for special forces, like if you ever play Ghost Recon 2, Nomad has a whole ass kid, and he's on this island taking down a whole militia, basically with 3 other niggas.
Bro.
Like, bro, there's people out there that actually do that shit. Like, bro,
And the crazy thing was, he was listed as like nobody as well because they didn't want to give him. He didn't want a name or some shit, and so like the Russian dude that he beat up, broke his arm and shit like that. That was like the kid. It was like the other guy's brother, and he didn't even like his brother, but like he was just mad at the fact that his brother got fucked up. So he's like some big like Russian mobster, and he's like, I'm gonna kill this dude. They start like digging into him, pulling up research and shit like that. They find out who he is because they
Nobody.
they had like a connect in the Pentagon.
Interpol or some shit.
It was I think it was like the Pentagon, and they told him to like pull up the lost files. They're gonna leak his like whole like I think it was like his search history or some shit. And he was just like, oh fuck, and then he just like goes in, picks up the files, like sends it to him. The lady reads it, gives it to the dude, and is like, I quit. And she just dipped. Bro. She's like, bro, you can handle that.
I'm not fucking
out.
with that nigga.
I'm not fucking with that nigga.
I'm not
And
fucking
he
with him.
reads it all, and he's just like, I'm fucked, bro. I'm fucked.
That's
He's
the
like, what
same with John
fuck? Y'all
Wick.
picked the wrong
Like,
one.
you remember when the
Russian
son
dad,
came
like,
back?
Yeah.
No, like, no, I think it was his nephew came back and he told him like what he did, and he was like, you know, stupid nigga.
Yeah,
He's like, bro, he's like,
you know,
that's
you know
John
who the
Wick,
fuck
like-
that was, right?
you're dead, bro.
You're
You're dead. Like, I don't know what to tell you, but
Dude,
like,
It was the
he's
same,
gonna
it was
kill
the
you.
same reaction. He was like, "Fuck, bro, fuck." I'm
You remember when
dead.
he like walked up? I think he did something inside the whole warehouse, like broke the whole shit down and
Yeah.
walked in the nigga's
Yeah, 'cause-
office.
dude? And like you're talking about Nobody, right?
No, John Wick.
Well, my bad. At the end of like Nobody, he like had like some gold or some shit like stashed away, and just buys the whole cause like I guess his wife's brothers own and like brother and dad owned like that company that he worked at, and he was like a lower I guess worker, but like he was known, and he was like giving off that persona that he was like a weak husband, and dude gave him a gun and was like, protect my fucking sister. Like he was hard and shit like that. And like so near the end of the movie, he comes to the movie, you know, after beating up like all these niggas, he comes back and he pulls out like all these stacks of gold, gives it to the dad, and he's like, I want the whole warehouse. And he's like, you have a deal. And he was like, what? I get a say in this? Like the dude, little brother. And he was like, shut the fuck up. He punches him in the nose. He just holds his nose. He was like, we're taking this deal. And then they just give him the whole thing. Dude like soups up the whole warehouse with like traps and shit like that. And like he apparently has like this one like connect, I guess it's like his brother, who was like also the same type of dude who uses like snipers and shit like that. Crazy thing too, they found out who his like dad was because he also took like visits to see his dad.
Yeah.
They found out who his dad was. They sent dudes to like come kill his dad. His dad was like his old ass man in a retirement home. He's like sleep, like acting like he's sleep. Dudes like pull up like next to him. Shotgun in the chest.
What the?
And I'm just like,
Nigga, that's such a blitz.
Just,
That's like waking up in heaven, like, yo, how did I get here?
dude, cause like,
oh, you want to see it?
cause like the whole, the whole thing was he like they find out who he was, so they pull up to his house. He told his family he had like a whole like safe basement. He put them in the basement, and he just fucked up all these dudes while they were inside of his house. And he was like taking his like kids out and his wife. They're covering like their daughter's eyes because she's like 7 or 8. And so he's covering her eyes. The son is just looking at her. I was like, damn, dad. And he just sends them out of the state, I guess, like out of the country.
Damn, dad.
Bro, like, I'm just like, nigga, nah, you should. I'm glad you didn't beat that lady. But like, so he basically starts like digging him. He's like, I need some. He goes to a retirement home to see his dad. He was like, I need some stuff and for business. He was like, hey, you know how it is. Handle what you gotta do. And when I'm just like, why is this old ass man talking like that? And then find out they come and pull up on this man and kill his dad or take his dad hostage. Man just pulls out a whole ass shotgun, and then just covers it back up. And like he also like covers the bodies. The dudes who like watch the old people like opens his door and is like, turn the movies down because he always watch like old Western movies. And so he thought it was a fucking movie. I'm just like, nigga, what? No way. No way, man. Just
like,
two dudes.
And also,
in the
Mr.
chest.
Johnson, you want some applesauce before you go?
And like at the end of the movie with the warehouse, the dad pulls up and like his brother that he always like talked to over like these like encrypted, you know, those old timey little things. I don't know. And they both pull up and he was like, bro, I told you I wasn't gonna do this, but he still did it. And they start just fucking up all the Russian dudes coming at him inside that warehouse. And they're all like out of ammo, and they're just like throwing guns to each other. Mink, mink, mink. Throwing the dad a shotgun. He's just shotgunning niggas in the chest.
So this is basically just like The Accountant. And I feel like if you watch all these movies in a succession, you'll realize like they're all the same thing.
But like done differently.
Yeah, and that's what I love about.
Well, you got to give me the list, bro. I gotta watch these.
So many good movies,
man.
Man.
Go hard. And that movie, and like it was funny because at the end of the movie, you know, he like does everything great, and then he gets a call. Like, no, he doesn't get the call. The lady that he's buying, like, you know, the realtor, she gets a phone call, and she answers it, and she's like, "It's for you." And he answered it, and he's just like, "Uh-huh, all right." And then like he looks at the wife, and then they're just like, "Does this place have a basement?" Because that's where they need to hide if some shit went down. Because I'm guessing if there was a second movie, like the Russian dude that he killed is now his dad is probably gonna come after him now or some shit.
Of course,
bro, that shit was going crazy. That shit was
like niggas really did not catch a hint. I was watching like this thing where it was like the most brutal scenes, hand-to-hand combat in movies, and like there was this dude just fucking up a whole crowd of people, and niggas just kept coming at him. Like, how the fuck you gonna see your man's get his whole ass beat with a pinball?
Bro, I would have walked away.
Like, bro,
I was like, I'm sorry, Jorge, but I'll pay for the hospital bills.
Yeah,
not me too.
Bro.
Hey guys, but we gotta go, guys. Check us next week.
Next
so
week,
yeah,
next week.
bye.